Welcome back to the channel once more. It's Max Easy Lessons. This one is how to write the persuasive essay. Continue watching, please. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There will also be a sample paragraph that you can use as your guide and just basic notes that can help you to write the persuasive essays. Now, here's a simple acronym that can help you to understand how it is that you're going to persuade your readers. The first one is P, where you pull your readers by using an interesting start, a hook that will draw the reader's attention to what you are about to write. E is where you explain what position or stance you are going to take in this essay. R, you give reasons that are important to convincing or justifying to your reader what it is that you want to present. S is where you sway your readers to accept the point that you are making. U is where you use language that will convince the reader. A is where you address the different or contrasting views that may arise. In other words, these are your counter arguments. D, you deliver a firm or a solid message that will help you to reinforce or to reiterate this, and you do that in your conclusion. E is where you entice the reader based on the structure of your sentences and the words that you are about to use. Now, what's the purpose of the persuasive piece? For me, what I tell my students all the time is that when you're persuading, it's like you're convincing. If you're a student watching this, think about how many times you have told your parents stories that gets you to go where you want to go. Not necessarily where they will send you, but you are convincing them in one way or another that this is what you want to do and this is how you're going to do it. And quite simply, the persuasive piece is basically you convincing someone that this is what you want them to believe or to understand or to accept. So with the persuasive piece, what's the purpose? One is that you share the point of view that we have with our readers so that the readers will agree with us. Two, we are going to use linking words that will create a smooth transition from one idea to another. Here are some linking words that you can use. If you want to introduce a reason, you could use, for example, for instance, one reason, another reason. If you want to introduce details, you will say also, furthermore, likewise, in addition, specifically. These are just some of the transitional words, the linking words that you can use. And then to summarize your idea, which is very important for your conclusion, you can say again, or in fact, in conclusion, finally, and then you continue with what it is you want to say. Now, there are different types of persuasive writings. There is the one that appeals to logos or reason, where you're expected to use solid facts and proof to convince the reader of the strength of your arguments. In this case, you can use charts if it is something you're writing before an exam. You can also find numbers, the statistics to justify what it is you're saying. You can also use graphs that will strengthen your arguments. But if you're in an exam and you're under exam conditions, you might not be able to access charts and numbers and percentages and graphs, etc. But what you can do is to recall something that was said by a relevant authority on the topic, and then you can use this as facts and proof to convince your reader of what you are saying. The second one is the appeal to pathos or emotions. Now, when you're appealing to the emotions, you are appealing to what is inside of the person, how the person feels. And you are not appealing just to the mind or the logical thoughts of the person. Now, in this case, when you appeal to the emotion or pathos, when you use pathos, the appeal goes to the faith or the imagination of the audience that you are writing to and for. Finally, it's the appeal to ethos or character. Here, you want to show credibility of you, the writer. And this allows you, as the writer, to use your virtues to appeal to the reader. So, for example, if you are writing about a topic, an issue at school, you want to make it clear that you are also a student and that you have endured this kind of issue. If you are, say, in the workplace, and you are writing on an issue that is happening at work, your first thing you want to do at the onset is that you want to make it clear who you are and why it is that you are able to speak on this topic. What's your connection then to the topic? And that's the one where you use the credibility of you, the person who is doing the writing. No, when we're writing the persuasive piece, there's a basic structure for every paragraph, and when you combine each paragraph, you look at it, it's the same structure that your entire essay will hold. One, you must have the introductory paragraph. Yes, it's where you will have that first sentence that is going to draw the reader to you. It's going to pull your reader to want to read. So you can begin with an anecdote, something that is funny or interesting, whatever. You can begin with a piece of statistic. You can begin with something, though, that you expect will interest your reader at the get-go. And then you want to also do in that introductory paragraph to state the position that you're taking. Do you agree with what you're saying, or is it that you don't agree with the statement that is perhaps given? Of course, you're going to give 3 reasons that you will discuss or explore in your essay. And your conclusion there, that last sentence there, is where you are going to appeal to the persons who are reading that they need to support the stance that you're taking. In many cases, people refer to this concluding statement in your introductory paragraph as your thesis statement. Either way, though, you have to have that sentence, that final sentence in your first paragraph that says, this is where I am going with what I am going to do. Your introductory paragraph. Here we go into details. You state the subject or the topic and your intention. So if you're going to talk about school uniforms, you state your position. Is wearing school uniform a good thing or not? You state where you are. Identify yourself. Are you a student? Are you a teacher? Are you a parent? Who exactly are you to speak on this topic? And you have to identify your target audience as well. Then, of course, you're going to give your 3 reasons that will support the arguments that you're presenting. You don't have to say reason 1 or reason 2. There is always the use of commas that can separate your ideas. So you may want to say school uniforms are important as they allow for identification across the board. They allow people to conserve financially, where you don't have to wear to conserve it financially, yes. And finally, it is a means of getting conformity. So those would have been my 3 reasons. You give your opinion in a statement or 2 where you could say, and this is your thesis, yes, it is imperative for students to wear a uniform because it makes a world of a difference, a positive difference. And that, yes, it may be a little bit weak, but it's also a thesis statement. Your developmental paragraphs will come afterwards. You are going to give your first reason. And when you give that first reason, you are going to explain with examples. You are going to help to convince the person who is reading that your first reason is the best reason that they will ever see. You'll do that for a second developmental paragraph as well, where you get your second reason and you do the same thing. You justify your reason, you give examples, you give details, so that by the time the person has finished reading that paragraph, they will now be leaning towards your idea. The third paragraph, the third developmental paragraph, is for reinforcement as well. You give your third reason, and again, you will justify your reason with examples and details that will support this reason as well. And in your conclusion, you have to restate your main idea or the opinion that you have, and you have to present a way forward, a solution to the problem, a suggestion that will help people to understand that this is a course of action that can be taken. Now, here are some points to note for the persuasive essay. The topic sentences should present the claims in each paragraph. The remaining sentences in the developmental paragraphs should support the claim or the reason that you made in that topic sentence. Now, after you have done the topic sentence, you have to put forward specific facts. Do not put facts that do not relate to what you are saying. You have to create facts. You have to create examples. You have to justify what you're doing in a way that it supports the idea that you have, that claim that you have made. So basically what you're doing is convincing a person that this is happening because of all of these reasons. And end each paragraph with a transitional sentence that will connect the main idea to the paragraph that will follow. Now, here is a simple example of a persuasive paragraph. It's not very hard. It might not be what you wanted to see, but this is just a basic idea of how to do it. You have your topic sentence, then where you address the arguments of the opponent at the start of the paragraph. Yes, in green, you will find the supporting sentences, and in the final sentence, it's where you transition to the next paragraph. Now, if you keep this idea in mind, you will understand that it makes writing the whole essay for the persuasive piece is so much easier. So thank you so much for watching. Again, these are not just steadfast rules that you need to follow. Listen to what your teachers have to say as well, and it will help you to build on what you already know. Thank you so much for watching.